Hey everybody, welcome back to Unite Inside. In this video, I want to talk about forgiveness, which is a really important topic. I haven't really said my opinion about it yet, or from my own healing journey, how did I reach the point of forgiveness? Also, a lot of times people think that because they just gotten through a very painful experience where they've been abused or betrayed, they feel as though they are forced to forgive, or you need to forgive if you are a good person, or if you really do want your healing journey to be complete, you have to forgive. A lot of people think that forgiveness is letting go of what someone did to us completely, like it didn't happen, or like literally thinking that, oh, it's not that big of a deal, let it go, or almost like that other person literally deserves that forgiveness from us. Or either like, oh, if you don't forgive, then you are a hateful person. Any of all these like pressure, all this pressure, and this like very famous narrative of like you have to forgive and forget, all these things. And do we really have to forgive? And how important forgiveness really is, and what forgiveness is. So in this video, this is really what I want to explain to you. And I want to tell you what the vibration of forgiveness really is. And so forgiveness is a vibration that you basically naturally start to feel and adopt when you complete your healing stages. Okay, so there are healing stages that you go through when you experience a certain hurt. If you've been betrayed, or you've been hurt or abused in any way, it can be very hard to just think about, okay, let it go. Or especially when you are hurt and you are going through that, you know, like wound, and you're still going through it, it can be very hard if someone says to you, okay, you have to forgive them, come on, forgive them, all of that, and try to rush you through your journey. And I would recommend that you don't do this to yourself. That I want to tell you something: forgiveness is never forced and should never be forced. And also, forgiveness should never be something that you are obligated to do. Okay, you're not obligated to forgive ever. Okay, do not think about it. If you are going through a hurt, if you really want to get into the point where you are truly in the vibration of forgiveness, do not think about it now. Still, all you need to do is to go through your healing process, go through that healing stage, go through every single stage. Because a lot of us, we go through a stage where we feel sad, hurt, grieving, all of that. And then we go through a stage where we feel disappointed, upset, and then angry, all of those stages, okay? And so you have to be patient with yourself, especially when you are in the first stage where you feel hurt still, and that pain is still raw, and you're like, it's like an actual wound where you're like, okay, this really hurts, this really sucks, you feel really bad about yourself. Do not rush yourself through this process or judge yourself. When you are going through that, all you have to do is to actually be patient. And instead of pretending that it's not there, pretending that there is no hurt, instead tell yourself, there is hurt. I am hurt. I am going through a lot of pain right now. I'm going through a hard time right now, and that is okay. And there's nothing wrong with that, because especially because after you've just been hurt, you've just been abused, and so, or betrayed, or whatever that is. So in that moment, you have to validate that pain. If you have feelings like, oh my God, I've been treated really badly, I don't deserve that, validate those feelings instead of telling yourself, okay, let's let it go now. Or, okay, well, we have to forgive. It's about time. Like, there's no such thing as it's about time. There's some hurts that if you just pretend to forgive, you never really heal, you know? All you do is literally pretend that you were not hurt. That's basically what you do. So forgiveness is not pretending that something isn't there. And it's also not something that you have to do, okay? And it's not something that you have to give the other person. It's not for the other person. It is a certain vibration that I'm going to explain to you really soon in this video, okay? It is not what a lot of people think it is. So it's not for the other person, and it's not so that you can be a good person or let go of hatred or any of that, okay? So if you are going through pain and you've been abused, you have all the right to feel the way you do. So validate that pain. The first stage, the first thing to do when you are in the first stage is to actually validate. So validate your pain, be patient with your pain, give yourself as much compassion as possible. Try to create an environment for yourself so that you can actually repair your pain, which means try to limit being with people that can trigger you or hurt you. Surround yourself with people that love you. Spend more time in nature. Um, Breathe through your feelings. Let yourself feel your feelings. Don't judge yourself. You can also meditate, or maybe even go into some meditation class, go do meditation classes, or even hire like a mentor that can help you with your healing journey, that can help you process things and talk about things, because that's a lot better than being in a situation where you're like abused and abusing yourself. Because when you are abused and when you've been abused, the best thing to do is to not abuse yourself back, because you know how that is the worst thing you can ever do. That does not help you, and it will not help heal you. That's just not how you heal. Okay, if you really truly want to achieve the healing that you need, you are going to have to be patient with yourself, give yourself as much love, as much compassion and patience as possible. Okay, that is how you heal, and that is how you reach closer and closer to that vibration of true forgiveness. Okay, because that's exactly what we're going to talk about in this video. If you really want to reach a point where you're like, okay, I am ready to truly forgive. Okay, I am ready to truly forgive, and I am not here to judge myself. I'm not here to force myself to do something that I don't deserve because I've just been hurt. Okay, and so like I'm saying, in your healing stages, you're gonna experience a lot of anger at some point when you're healing, because at that point when you're angry, you're actually becoming more aware of the abuse that you've experienced. What happens in this stage of anger and hatred, you might even feel like you hate the people that hurt you. It's because you're becoming more aware of what they did to you, and so that's a good thing. And do not judge yourself or tell yourself, oh, you need to let go of this hatred. If you find yourself talking to other people about this person that hurt you, talking shit about them, trying to defend yourself, all these things, I know that it is not the best vibration to be in, but it is the vibration where you are starting to become more aware of what they did to you, and so that you can create those boundaries within yourself. A lot of us get abused and hurt because we didn't have enough boundaries, because we didn't actually have that part of us that defends us. And when we do get hurt, what happens is that that part finally wakes up, and it's like, okay, oh my God, this is not okay. I have been treated so horribly, and now I'm angry. And so do not judge that part of you, and do not force it to heal or to forgive in that minute, because in that minute it is trying to get its power back. Okay? And also in that vibration, when you're angry, you're actually, it's that part of you that loves you. The part of you that hates them loves you. It hates that they put you through that pain. And also, you do not have to stay in this stage. A lot of people stay in the stage of hatred and anger. It is not a perfect stage to stay in. You can move on to the next stage. And I want to tell you what you really need to do to move on if you are stuck in anger, okay? And so you have to validate yourself, and also you have to remember your power, okay? You have to take your power back. This is the stage where you take your power back from the people that hurt you. Let me give you an example. We always have power in every situation that we are in. We're never true victims, even though we've been through situations that we felt like a victim and we've been victimized, and it is horrible and we didn't deserve it. Yes, that's true. I'm not like invalidating you. You should never invalidate your pain, especially if you've been victimized. But at the same time, we always have power. We always have personal power and control over ourselves and over our lives. And so when you recognize the aspects, you can this is the moment in your healing journey where you go back to situations that hurt you, to that same situation, and ask yourself, where did I have power? in where was my power in the situation, and I gave it away. Okay? Where did I have power, but I gave it away? For example, maybe you ignored your intuition. You had your power, the power of intuition, but you've ignored it. Maybe you, because of how much you wanted love, you got attached too easily, maybe, and you've and that blinded you to see the real person that you were dealing with, and you were just dealing with a fantasy in your mind. So that's something to take responsibility for. It's very important to take responsibility if we truly want to complete our healing cycle. Okay? That's the thing that a lot of people don't do because it's hard to see our own faults. And I'm not trying to say that this is your fault, but just things that you can do better next time, or that will help you to be empowered in any situation. Because we go through situations for a reason. There is always a higher purpose to a situation that you go through. The universe always puts us in situations, even when it sends us people that hurt us. It's always because there is things that we need to become aware of. Maybe you have poor boundaries. Maybe you don't love yourself. Maybe you have guilt issues. Maybe you have shame issues. Maybe you think you're worthless. Maybe you've settled for something that you don't deserve. Whatever it is that you've done, maybe you've trusted people that you knew your intuition said no to, but you still did it because you were desperate for love or connection or friendship, whatever it is, okay? Maybe you weren't valuing yourself and your worth, and you didn't wait for what you actually deserve. And instead, you just went with something that looked like it's shiny and good, and you got hurt instead. Okay? So this is not a stage to blame yourself, but it is a stage to take full responsibility. Okay? For your feelings, for your healing journey. Maybe you had some triggers that were being, that were playing out in that situation. Okay? So you go ahead and you do your healing. You take care of your emotions. You take care of you regulate your nervous system. In that moment, you take responsibility. You see the things that you can do better next time, that you can take responsibility for next time. Okay? And also, when you're doing this, you're also collecting more wisdom and a higher perspective of that circumstance that you went through. Like, instead of seeing it as, oh my God, this means that I don't deserve love, or I'm not good enough, or whatever it is that a lot of people think, this time you go back in memory and you think about it again from a higher perspective. And instead of thinking, oh my God, this really was bad for me, you think, okay, this literally taught me how to respect myself better, how to love myself better, how to have better boundaries, how to choose people better, how to be selective of the people that I have in my life. Okay? This taught me some type of lesson that I needed in my spiritual growth. And also that when I learn this lesson, I no longer feel helpless. So when you actually learn the lesson, and when you actually see it, and you don't think of yourself as you're not good enough, or as you're not worthy because you went through this circumstance, instead you look at yourself as, the universe came to awaken me to a certain truth about myself, and I choose to see it. So instead of being like, this is the worst thing that has ever happened to me, true healing is when you go back and you think, this was a very important and valuable lesson to learn in my life, and I needed it, and I wouldn't be who I am today if I didn't experience it. So it literally becomes like, you think, oh my God, like, this added to me, this added to my character, this added to me, I'm stronger, I'm better, I'm more healed, I'm more confident, I love myself better, I have higher standards now. So this circumstance, you use it to your advantage, and you actually see it the right way, because the universe will never send you someone that hurts you, will never put you in a situation of hurt if it doesn't have any purpose to it. You always need those circumstances, otherwise you wouldn't be going through them. A lot of times when we are in a deep level of unawareness, like we are just desperate for something, or we just don't see that we don't believe in ourselves, and we don't see our worth, the universe is like, there is no way for me to awaken you unless if you really go through a circumstance where you can see it yourself, where you can awaken yourself. So circumstances like that hurt us a lot, build us better, and they literally create a character. And not just that, but also it's something that is very needed for you. Okay? Clearly, there was something about you that you needed to see so desperately. Okay? You needed to see that. And so you got it. Okay, so that's what true healing is. When you reach this point and you take responsibility, okay, I'm gonna have better boundaries next time. Okay, I'm gonna not ignore my intuition. If my intuition told me this person is a bad person, I'm not gonna talk to them. Okay, I'm gonna trust myself better this time. I'm gonna love myself better this time. I'm not gonna go with these types of people. I'm gonna choose better types of people for myself. When you reach this point, you start to feel empowered. Because a lot of times, what truly makes us feel angry and stuck in this hatred and not healing, like when we really hold on to a certain pain, it's because we literally feel so helpless and disempowered when it comes to that situation. We think, oh my God, we've been victimized. And you know how much that hurts us? When we feel that we are actually a victim to a certain circumstance, we start to feel like we have to hold on to these emotions so that we won't repeat them again, so that we won't go through them again. It's almost like it traumatized us. That's what trauma really is feeling like is something that scars you. Trauma is something that you keep inside of you alive, almost like defines you in a way. Almost like you can never move on from it. That's what trauma is. It's something that, okay, it is a part of who you are now. You see yourself differently because of it. But healing, true healing, when you achieve that true healing, the trauma no longer defines you anymore. The trauma is no longer a part of who you are anymore. Why? Because you can see something that you haven't seen before, which is your power, where your power truly is. And that's why it's important to take responsibility in the last stage of our healing. Okay? Because when you see your power, you no longer look at yourself as a victim. Instead, you see, okay, I contributed to this somehow. It wasn't just the universe. You no longer stop blaming the universe and circumstances and other people for the things that you went through. Okay, so when you go through something, then you can own it. I went through it, and you know what, I accepted going through this. You know what, I allowed it to happen. I didn't stand up for myself. And that's not a way to blame you again. That's a way to make you aware of a certain thing that you did. Like, okay, you didn't really set boundaries with that person, even though they hurt you. But you really didn't set boundaries with them. What does that say about you? Maybe you have a little belief, maybe you have a limiting belief deep down that says, I am not worthy of respect. So maybe that's something that you need to look at. Okay? So instead of saying, the universe put me through this, the universe always sends me people that hate me and hurt me. No, the universe always sends you the right tests to test your boundaries and your limiting beliefs to see if you really are serious about your spiritual growth and about your self-love. Okay, so I hope that this helped you to see the difference between when you are not in a healed place, and this is actually what creates that type of forgiveness. This is where the forgiveness comes, because when you are standing in your power, then you literally feel, okay, I am ready to forgive. I am ready to let go. Why? Because then you're like, this situation no longer defines me. It no longer makes me feel a certain way about myself. I don't need to carry it around with me. I can drop it. So true forgiveness is letting go, literally letting it go. You no longer care about it. It no longer mean anything to you. You no longer have any emotional attachment to it. You are completely detached from the situation. True forgiveness is detachment from the situation. You feel nothing about it. When you think of the person that hurt you, you don't think, oh, I love them. That's not really what forgiveness is. Or, oh, they're a good person. No, you think, I have learned my lesson from this person. I have no feelings attached. It's almost like all those emotional ties that you had with them will release and go away because you've decided to see your power and take it back. And from that situation, they no longer control you. Okay? Because a lot of times when we are in a situation like that and we feel like a victim, it literally feels like this is so scary for us because we think, what if it happens again? Does that mean I have no power over my life and over the circumstances that I'm going through? And so because it feels like that, it feels helpless for you, You literally hold on to it, and that's where you're always angry. It's almost like you're trying to prove something to yourself and to the universe. But when you actually achieve true forgiveness, you go into that vibration of true forgiveness. You take responsibility for who you are, for your healing journey. You see it differently. You learn the lessons. It makes you better, and you're ready to let it go for good. Okay? So it's not about the other person. It's just about completely detaching from the situation and going in, achieving like a full circle, like a full healing circle. So you're basically your healing journey, your healing process is complete when it comes to that circumstance. Okay? So this is what the true vibration of forgiveness really is when you go back and you think, I had power and I didn't see it, but that circumstance came so that it can show me my power. Now I know what my power is. So I know deep down, I do not have to hold on to this pain or hurt or anger. I can let that go, that part go, because I know that a big part of um, the creation of that pain that I went through was my unawareness of my boundaries and my unawareness of my self-love, my unawareness of parts of me that are against me. So I have taken responsibility for all these things, and now I have become a better person. So no one can actually hurt me now. No one can actually challenge me the way that this person did, or put me in that vibration and in that hurt that I've been through, because I have power now, because I can do something about it now. Okay? Because I can actually set boundaries and choose better next time. Okay? So this is something that I want to tell you about, which is very important for you, for your healing journey, and also when it comes to forgiveness. And then you can forgive because you're like, I'm actually grateful for that person because they've taught me this thing. I mean, it's not like I'm grateful I love them. No, it's just like I'm grateful for the situation from the universe. Okay? That the universe sent me the situation. I am grateful for it. And I'm grateful for the lessons, and I see it as valuable. Okay, so I love you so much, and I love to see you forgiving, but first you have to go through this journey. You have to go through your healing stages. Okay, so I hope that you have a great day. And if you happen to be in in a situation like that where you are struggling, don't hesitate to message me via Facebook. It's in the information. Um, it's in information part of the video somewhere, and so I actually would take you on a journey, and we will go through your healing stages and reach forgiveness the right way so that you can have an amazing life and actually live free. Okay, so freedom is actually what forgiveness is when you finally are free from that hurt. You're free from that wound. You're free from that pain, and that experience no longer defines you. And instead, you're standing in your power, and it had made you better. Okay? So, if you like this video, don't forget to like, share, and comment, and I will see you soon.